Good morning. This is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess, bringing you day 283 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation, where we use female words. This would be October 10th if you're starting at the new year. Should healing be repeated? This question really answers itself. Healing cannot be repeated. If the patient is healed, what remains to heal her from? And if the healing is certain, as we have already said it is, what is there to repeat? For a teacher of God to remain concerned about the result of healing is to limit the healing. It is now the teacher of God herself whose mind needs to be healed, and it is this she must facilitate. She is now the patient, and she must so regard herself. She has made a mistake and must be willing to change her mind about it. She lacked the trust that made forgiving truly, and so she has not received the benefit of her gift. Whenever a teacher of God has tried to be a channel for healing, she has succeeded. Should she be tempted to doubt this, she should not repeat her previous effort. That was already maximal, because the Holy Spirit so accepted it and so used it. Now the teacher of God has only one course to follow. She must use her reason to tell herself that she has given the problem to one who cannot fail, and must recognize that her own uncertainty is not love but fear, and therefore hate. Her position has thus become untenable, for she is offering hate to one to whom she offered love. This is impossible. Having offered love, only love can be received. It is in this that the teacher of God must trust. This is what is really meant by the statement that the one responsibility of the miracle worker is to accept the atonement for herself. The teacher of God is a miracle worker because she gives the gifts she has received, yet she must first accept them. She need do no more, nor is there more that she could do. By accepting healing, she can give it. If she doubts this, let her remember who gave the gift and who received it. Thus is her doubt corrected. She thought the gifts of God could be withdrawn. That was a mistake, but hardly one to stay with, and so the teacher of God can only recognize it for what it is and let it be corrected for her. One of the most difficult temptations to recognize is that to doubt a healing because of the appearance of continuing symptoms is a mistake in the form of lack of trust. As such, it is an attack. Usually it seems to be just the opposite. It does appear unreasonable at first to be told that continued concern is attack. It has all the appearances of love. Yet, love without trust is impossible, and doubt and trust cannot coexist. And hate must be the opposite of love, regardless of the form it takes. Doubt not the gift, and it is impossible to doubt its result. This is the certainty that gives God's teachers the power to be miracle workers, for they have put their trust in her. The real basis for doubt about the outcome of any problem that has been given to God's teacher for resolution is always self-doubt, and that necessarily implies that trust has been placed in an illusory self, for only such a self can be doubted. This illusion can take many forms. Perhaps there is a fear of weakness and vulnerability. Perhaps there is a fear of failure and shame associated with a sense of inadequacy. Perhaps there is a guilty embarrassment stemming from false humility. The form of the mistake is not important. What is important is only the recognition of a mistake as a mistake. The mistake is always some form of concern with the self to the exclusion of the patient. It is a failure to recognize her as part of the self, and thus represents a confusion in identity. Conflict about what you are has entered your mind, and you have become deceived about yourself. And you are deceived about yourself because you have denied the source of your creation. If you are offering only healing, you cannot doubt. If you really want the problem solved, you cannot doubt. If you are certain what the problem is, you cannot doubt. Doubt is the result of conflicting wishes. Be sure of what you want, and doubt becomes impossible. This is a fascinating passage. It explains that some of the things that we think of as love are not love but hate. When we are concerned for someone, in essence, we are imagining some sort of worst-case scenario. We are imagining things going badly. And because this is not reality, but is a dream that we are generating, those thoughts have effects in the dream. Our thoughts either bless or curse, at least in the dream they do. So there was a teacher in the 20th century, Neville Goddard, who taught the principles of miracle working. We call it manifestation, but it's miracle working. It's replacing a nightmarish dream with a happier dream. He talked about how we bless others when we imagine them having success, having things go their way, having wonderful things happen to them. And the more we focus, the more imaginative we get in imagining details and emotion and color and clarity, the more powerful and potent is the thought to bless the other person. There are other teachers of manifestation that teach it's important to let go of expectation. So perhaps leaving that imagining open-ended, we're reminded that we should be aware of what we really want. And what we really want is never the form, but the content, which is only love. Only love is real. So we can imagine for our loved ones that they are full of love and joy and hope. Maybe we don't imagine exactly in our, let's call it a daydream, an intentional dreaming. In our daydream of them, we might not imagine the full details of what's happening. Just imagine their response to it and the response of the people around them, congratulating the person being in a state of celebration, those sorts of things. Like we can imagine the emotional reactions without imagining what the details are that are causing it. And it's then that we are showing ourselves that it is the content that matters, not the form. The form doesn't matter. Just like it says the reason that we're doubting, the reason that we're feeling concern isn't important. What's important is that we are doubting. It means that we're not in alignment with ourselves. We have conflicting wishes. If we're concerned about our loved one and we're imagining a worst case scenario because we're afraid of it, it means that some part of us wants that. That's hard for us to accept. This is not conventional human wisdom at all, but it is what the Course teaches us and invites us to try out. Try it on, see what happens. If you never have a worst case scenario concern, fear for your loved ones or for anyone. From the very beginning of A Course in Miracles, we are taught that we are not disciplined with our thoughts, and that the Course is all about teaching us habits of vigilance that are at the thought level, and that changes everything. Today's passage explains that when we doubt, when we imagine and fear bad things happening to our loved one, we are the ones in need of healing. And we are reminded that the one responsibility that we have is to receive the atonement for ourselves. We are to see to our own healing in this. If we are healed, then our interactions with others will be healing. By nature, they cannot help but be so. When we are healed, we are a source of healing in the dream. That's just the way it is. Our function and our role is to be a beacon in which painful illusions cannot persist. Our role is to be so disbelieving in the illusion's power to harm us that we are not harmed by it, no matter what it does. And our very proximity and interaction with others reminds them that this is much closer to reality than anything that they are seeing in the illusion. This passage says that if we would be the healer, but we have doubts and fears for our loved one, then we are the patient. We are the one who needs healing. That's when we, as a teacher of God, go back to the drawing board, go back to the principles of the Course, and seek our own healing. It is no elaborate thing. It just says that we need to perceive that we have made a mistake and be willing to change our mind about it. The Course has taught us that we do not have the ability to judge anything. We do not have the ability to understand anything. We hand it over to the Holy Spirit to judge for us. We hand all problems over to the Holy Spirit to heal for us. When you're having a dream in the night, you don't fix the problems in your dream by trying to fix them in the dream. You fix them by healing the part of your mind that would have dreamed that in the first place. A Course in Miracles doesn't mince words. Hoo boy, it never minces words. It says that when we have this sort of fearful concern for our loved ones, it is an attack. Can you believe that? It's literally saying that our fearful concerns for our loved ones are an attack. But it completely makes sense. It's completely consistent with everything the Course teaches. This passage says that whenever we make this kind of mistake, it's always seeing ourselves as a separate self, not as one with all of creation. So we have some concern that applies to us and our other selves separately. It is in seeing us as one that these forms of insanity are healed. After reviewing what is the Holy Spirit, which is found in the show notes, we go on to Lesson 283, My True Identity Abides in You. Mother, I made an image of myself, and it is this I call the child of God. Yet is creation as it always was, for your creation is unchangeable. Let me not worship idols. I am she my mother loves. My holiness remains the light of heaven, and the love of God. Is not what is beloved of you secure? Is not the light of heaven infinite? Is not your child my true identity when you created everything that is? Now are we one in shared identity, with God our Mother as our only source, and everything created part of us. And so we offer blessing to all things, uniting lovingly with all the world, which our forgiveness has made one with us. That is our lesson for the day. Happy practicing.